You are now within minutes of horror, and we are going to go ahead and get right into today's video.
Awan, gini gini awan. Awan. Awan ini mah, awan hitam. Budah, budah. Budah awan ini. Awan ini, awan hitam. Nah. Busa. Busa. Bau. Awas beracun. Bau tak? Tuh. Busa ini. Turun dari yang itu. Masih ada.
Nih, orang pagi-pagi tuh kayak bau spite. Tadi pagi tuh. Kayak bau spite. Bukan busa, kayak busa sabun gitu ya.
A couple days after posting that video, I was thinking to myself, why does this remind me of something? And then I remembered the Oregon Crud card from the Illuminati card game. After making a video on this card months ago, I found out that this is something that supposedly has not happened yet, and yet it looks very similar to what we were just watching. Yeah, it's called the Oregon Crud, but it also says disaster. This is an instant attack to destroy any place except a huge one. It does not require an action. Its power is 24. If the attack succeeds, the target is devastated. So I definitely would love to keep updated on whatever this was falling out of the sky. So if anybody knows the location, again, please do let me know. So it's my opinion, but I strongly feel now that these tech giants are under the possession of demons. They are demonically possessed. And I know to some that sounds like crazy talk that's very kooky, but we're going to go ahead and get into why I strongly believe so a little bit later on in the video. But before we go ahead and get into any of that, I do want to go ahead and talk about this.
A conference many years ago that you probably were at. Sorry. I'm sorry, go ahead. Will you help? Can you take him off the stage? Wow, getting off to a dramatic start already.
So this wasn't a hoax, this wasn't a prank, apparently, and reading this article from QZ.com, apparently this man was an investigator from the San Francisco Public Defender's Office, a city agency representing people who cannot afford private lawyers in criminal cases. And apparently the office was trying to reach out to Altman, Sam Alternative Man, for quite some time. We're going to go ahead and get into why he's being subpoenaed in a second, but what really bugs me about the video is not Sam Altman's nonchalant attitude being subpoenaed, and you can see him smiling, because I don't think he's human anyway. He's not. He's an alternative man. but it's the audience. It's the audience that's going, no, boo. It's just such a very weird reaction from the audience, as if he's above being served, and it's just so devastating for them. It just really grinds my fiddlesticks. But anyway, going back to the article, it says the investigator served the document to Altman because he is a potential witness in a pending criminal case, and this is coming from the spokesperson for the office, and they were quoted as saying, "Our investigators first made several prior attempts to serve the subpoena at Altman's company headquarters and via its online portal. The subpoena is tied to a criminal case involving the activist group Stop AI, which has staged protests outside OpenAI's headquarters. Some members are on trial after allegedly blocking entrances to its San Francisco offices in February. Altman is now required to appear as a witness in the case." I was hoping he would be served for crimes against humanity, but continue to read the article. It says, in a statement, Stop AI said its actions were intended to resist what it sees as a global existential threat. All of our nonviolent actions against OpenAI were an attempt to slow OpenAI down in their attempted ending of everyone and every living thing on this earth, and it's very true. They were quoted as saying, "This trial will be the first time in human history where a jury of normal people are asked about the extinction threat that AI poses to humanity." I mean, yeah, and in multiple ways. I mean, these same tech giants, like the gated one, they spent years telling us how we have to stop doing this, stop doing that for the climate. because millions of people are going to lose their lives, the world will be destroyed. Then they turn around and build these massive AI data centers that are just wrecking the planet, and we can see that in real time, and we are paying for it. Our bills are skyrocketing. Now, after they're building all these data centers, they're turning around and saying, oh, global warming isn't a problem after all, which it never was. It was always a way to control people. Now they have to eat their words because of these data centers. And these data centers, again, are just destroying the environment. They're taking over the farmlands, destroying the wildlife, destroying the environmental resources, waters, and so forth. They are consuming a lot of energy and resources. We can talk about how AI is replacing people in the workforce. People are turning to AI for relationships, no longer people, even sexually. People are turning to AI for spiritual guidance. Oh, and really quick, talking about AI, I want to talk about something I caught YouTube doing to my channel. I had been noticing that my videos look different than what I have been editing. When I posted a video on Hours of Horror yesterday, I took it down because it just did not look right. I thought there was an issue with the editing, and so I deleted the video and re-uploaded to Seconds of Horror. But even then, I noticed the video looked weird. So I went to the video settings, I went to the advanced settings, and I noticed that these were enabled. Let YouTube enhance visual and audio quality. So what they're doing, they are giving the videos an AI enhancement. This is not given to everyone. They're slow rolling it out to the public. And I was looking out for it every so often to make sure this is something they would not enable on my channel, because I had spoken about this. I made a video on this about how YouTube is secretly using AI to edit people's videos, and the results could bend reality, and it was for other people. So I was looking out for any email to be alerted that this feature was going to be put on my channel. Did not receive an email, did not receive any alert that this was being put on. And I do not know how long this had been enabled where AI was taking over my videos. And so yesterday I had turned the feature off because, for one, I want to be in complete control of the editing, and two, this just helps blur the lines even further between what's real and what's fake. But going back to Sam Altman, and it's not just Sam Altman, but all of these tech giants never have anything good to say when it comes to AI. But this is also going to go ahead and play into something that I'm going to go ahead and say later, and as to why I think these people are demonically possessed. But first, I'm going to go ahead and play this interview.
Decades of sci-fi telling us that AI is eventually going to kill us all. What does keep you up at night?
I think there's three scary categories. There's a bad guy gets super intelligence first and misuses it before the rest of the world has a powerful enough version to defend. So an adversary of the US says, gonna use this super intelligence to design a bioweapon to take down the United States power grid, to break into the financial system and take everyone's money. That's broad category one. And I think that the bio capability of these models, the cybersecurity capability of these models, these are getting quite significant. We continue to flash the warning lights on this. I think the world is not taking us seriously. I don't know what else we can do there, but this is a very big thing coming. Category two is the sort of broadly called loss of control incidents, where that's kind of like the sci-fi movie. The AI is like, oh, I don't actually want you to turn me off. I'm afraid I can't do that, whatever. There's a lot of work we and other companies do on model alignment to prevent that from happening. But as these systems become so powerful, that's a real concern. The third one is, to me, more difficult to imagine, but quite scary. And I'll explain what it is, and then I'll give a short-term and a long-term example. This is the category where the models kind of accidentally take over the world. They never wake up. They never do the sci-fi thing. They never open the pod bay doors. But they just become so ingrained in society, and they're so much smarter than we are. And we can't really understand what they're doing, but we do kind of have to rely on them. And even without a drop of malevolence from anyone, society can just veer in a sort of strange direction. But this phenomenon, I think, is a really big deal. In the short term, you can see it where people we call this emotional over-reliance. People rely on ChatGPT too much. There's young people who just say, I can't make any decision in my life without telling ChatGPT everything that's going on. It knows me, it knows my friends, I'm gonna do whatever it says. That feels really bad to me. The longer term category is, what if AI gets so smart that the President of the United States cannot do better than following ChatGPT 7's recommendation? That might be the right decision in any individual case, but it means that society has collectively transitioned a significant part of decision making to this very powerful system that is learning from us, improving from us, evolving with us, but in ways we don't totally understand. So that's the third category of how I think things can go wrong.
Category 1 and Category 3 are the most probable because they're already happening. The bad guys already have AI, the most powerful form of AI, and for a long time, much longer than what they're making us believe. And Category 3 is also already happening. People rely way too much on AI to the point that society has basically become idiocracy. When I talk about this stuff and warn people against this stuff, I get comments of, you don't know what you're talking about, AI is my friend, AI is here to help, it's a good entity. And then I have to remind people, well, these are the people that are behind AI. These are the people that are opening the gateways between yourself and whatever you're talking to. And if you don't trust Sam Altman, then why do you trust his technologies, which is nothing more than a modern day Ouija board? And then he says, what if AI gets so smart it outsmarts the president? And it goes back to my previous video, my most recent video, matter of fact, where I said that they're building a data center beneath the White House. And what if they're doing so for a future AI president? Somebody said that in the comment section of that video, and they made a really good point. And that's not really outside the realm of possibility. Remember, Albania came out and said they have an AI minister, the first AI minister that's pregnant with 83 children, and can monitor corruption better than any politician can. They were asked, well, if AI can do a better job than human politicians, why do you have human politicians? And they couldn't give an answer. So an AI president is not outside the realm of possibility, and maybe they've already had one. Who really knows at the end of the day? But talking about Sam Alternative Man, here's where things get even more disturbing, even creepier, and I saw this on Richie from Boston's video on RFB2. Sam Altman has a blog titled The Merge, and it's him talking about humans merging with AI technology or this genetically enhanced species. It goes on to say a popular topic in Silicon Valley is talking about what year humans and machines will merge, or if not, what year humans will get surpassed by rapidly improving AI or a genetically enhanced species, whatever that means. Most guesses seem to be between 2025 and 2075. People used to call this the singularity. Now it feels uncomfortable and real enough that many seem to avoid naming it at all. Now, he made this blog back in 2017, and as of 2025, this seems more realistic than ever. And it goes on to say perhaps another reason people stopped using the word singularity is that it implies a single moment in time, and now it looks like the merge is going to be a gradual process, and gradual processes are hard to notice. And as of right now, it's not hard to notice at all. They are really speeding this up. I believe the merge has already started and we are a few years in. And again, he is saying this back in 2017. Our phones control us and tell us what to do when. Social media feeds determine how we feel. Search engines decide what we think. The algorithms that make all this happen are no longer understood by any one person. They optimize for what their creators tell them to optimize for, but in ways that no human could figure out. They are what today seems like sophisticated AI, and tomorrow will seem like child's play, and it is. And they are extremely effective. At least speaking for myself, I have a very hard time resisting what the algorithms want me to do until I made a real effort to combat it. I found myself getting extremely addicted to the internet. Now here's the problem. He is telling the truth. This is 100% truthful where we are today, but the problem is he's not combating it. He is exacerbating the problem for other people. We are already in the phase of co-evolution. The AIs affect, effect, and infect us, and then we improve the AI. We build more computing power and run the AI on it, and it figures out how to build even better chips. Again, it doesn't sound like technology. It sounds like an entity, a thing, and they are giving it energy. They are powering it. And it goes on to say this probably cannot be stopped. As we have learned, scientific advancement eventually happens if the laws of physics do not prevent it. More important than that, unless we destroy ourselves first, superhuman AI is going to happen, genetic enhancements is going to happen, and brain-machine interfaces are going to happen. It is a failure of human imagination and human arrogance to assume that we will never build things smarter than ourselves. He's telling us that AI is bad and will take over humanity, And yet the protesters are wrong for calling it out and trying to stop those that are allowing it to happen. Our self-worth is so based on our intelligence that we believe it must be singular and not slightly higher than all the other animals on a continuum. Perhaps the AI will feel the same way and note the differences between us and bonobos are barely worth discussing. The merge can take a lot of forms. We could plug electrodes into our brains, or we could become really close friends with a chatbot. I mean, isn't that already happening? But I think a merge is probably our best case scenario. If two different species both want the same thing and only one can have it, I mean, we don't want the same thing, only these tech giants want this for us. In this case, to be the dominant species on the planet and beyond, they are going to have conflict. We should all want one team where all members care about the well-being of everyone else. Although the merge has already begun, it's going to get a lot weirder. Oh, I know. We will be the first species ever to design our own descendants. My guess is that we can either be the biological bootloader for digital intelligence and then fade into an evolutionary tree branch, or we can figure out what a successful merge looks like. It's probably going to happen sooner than most people think. Then he goes on to say how OpenAI, and remember, OpenAI has the most used chatbot in the entire world, is going to make this happen much faster than we think because it's advancing at such a fast rate. And then he goes on to say, I believe attention hacking is going to be the sugar epidemic of this generation. I can feel the changes in my own life. I can still wistfully remember when I had an attention span. My friends, young children, don't even know that's something they should miss. I am angry and unhappy more often, but I channel it into productive change less often, instead chasing the dual dopamine hits of likes and outrage. But again, if you know this is bad and this is destroying humanity, why are you allowing it to happen? It's like these people are possessed, and time to time they speak out and they tell us how bad AI happens to be, and then the possession takes over and they continue. They continue advancing these technologies and these AIs. It's just so weird. That is the thing about these tech giants. Elon Musk, Jordy Rose, they always tell us the bad sides of technology, how it's demonic, they're summoning in the demons. Well then, stop. Why can't you stop? Like, what is the purpose of things like Sora 2 showing us things that do not exist, but they're very realistic, even right down to the voice? Besides the fact that they want to go ahead and blur the lines between, again, what's real and what's fake. And for him to keep this blog up during a time where people are questioning AI and are even afraid of it, that it really is going to take over humanity, I mean, it really does show me that this man is possessed. This is what demonic possession looks like. The whole blog screams of somebody who's under demonic possession, that he wants to stop, he wants somebody to put a stop to it, he's giving us all the warning signs and the dangers, yet at the same time he's telling us he can't stop. He can't stop powering and ushering this thing in. This is quite possibly the scariest thing I have seen in quite some time, and it's scary because these are the people that are behind things that are distorting our reality. People that are going to be behind the most powerful, most expensive AI program ever that we as the public are aware of anyway, Project Stargate. These are the people behind all these chatbots that people are addicted to. These are the people and the organizations that will be ushering in or help usher in the digital ID in its full form. Yeah, this is scary. Now, just to clarify, I have no fear of this. To call something scary is not the same thing as living in fear of it. And I'm not going to live in fear of it because I'm not going to be a part of it or use it. I'm not going to get the digital ID just like I didn't get the jab. I'm not going to use AI, or I'm not going to try to anyway. I'm going to try to avoid it because apparently sometimes you can't. Reading this article right here from Cyber Press, AI-driven bad bots, apparently there's good bots and bad bots, now make up 51% of traffic, overtaking human visitors for the first time. So apparently the dead internet theory is a real thing. Continue to read the article. It says the global internet has reached a critical tipping point. For the first time in a decade, automated bot traffic has surpassed human visits, now constituting 51% of all web activity, according to the 2025 Imperva Bad Bot report. So that person you're responding to in the comment section that has your emotions all high might not even be a real person at all. Matter of fact, from multiple articles, there's a good chance that they're not. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. And I think this is one of the biggest things that they're trying to distract us away from. When you have people saying that, well, if this is a distraction, and I have been making multiple videos about how what AI, exactly are they distracting us away from? And I think it's the technology and the advancement because something like this has AI. Also happened to me in 2023. But this great video from Itty Bitty Terror 2 breaks down what's coming. 2 years later, we have an AI prime minister who's pregnant with 83 kids.
AI decodes brain activity to turn thoughts into text. A non-invasive imaging technique can translate scenes in your head into sentences. It could help to reveal how the brain interprets the world. Reading a person's mind using a recording of their brain activity sounds futuristic, but it's now one step closer to reality. I don't know about y'all, but I believe this is already happening because I can literally think of something, not say anything about it, and it will show up as an ad on my Facebook page. But let's go on. Researchers have been able to accurately predict what a person is seeing or hearing using their brain activity for more than a decade. All right, and then I found this. Researchers say 6G will stream human brain caliber AI to wireless devices. So when using 6G, they will be able to read your thoughts. They say the key selling point for 6G won't be faster phones or wireless home internet service, but rather a range of advanced industrial and scientific applications such as wireless, real-time remote access to human brain level AI computing. Then I found this. 6G and brain phone interface is taking shape. Are we ready for thought-controlled devices? No, we are not ready for that, and we don't want it. It says, imagine this. You think it, your phone does it. No touch, no typing, just intent. Now, I've already talked about this in the past, but scientists want to use people as antennas to power 6G. The future of 6G telecommunications could come from visible light communication. Using humans as part of the antenna system offers the most efficient way to harvest waste energy. In the process, humans could wear coiled copper. Now, I've gone over this dozens of times, but it's relevant for right now. Patent 060606. Cryptocurrency system using body activity data. What this says is you will wear a sensor, and the body activity data may be generated based on the sensed body activity of the user. And if you do what they tell you to do, you will be rewarded cryptocurrency. And how would they do this? With 6G, because you will be the antenna, and they will be able to know what you're doing all the time and read your thoughts. The beast system is already here. It's just not been activated yet. If you do not have a relationship with Jesus Christ, please get one soon. The Bible says that if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe that he died, was buried, and rose again for the remission of your sins, you will be saved. Don't wait until it's too late.
But talking about being very upfront and vocal about things, has anybody else been noticing that these so-called powers that be, news and media, they have been very upfront with the topic of things being sprayed in the skies when it used to be a quote-unquote conspiracy theory. Matter of fact, just talking about the topic would find your videos deleted. And yet now they're just letting anybody talk about it, even on very, very big platforms. This very interesting video comes from Moon Henry.
Something massive is afoot right in front of us, and I'll prove it in 1 second. Unrelated, did you see what Tucker Carlson just posted? I'll be right back. And I mean really, stay till the end.
What are these lines in the sky that we have all seen?
There's sprayed particulate dispersion. Bottom line is when we have up-close film footage of these aircraft at altitude with nozzles visible turning dispersion, this is not, quote, condensation. Watch.org is the only entity to sample what these heavy aircraft are emitting at altitude. We found exactly what we knew we would find, starting with aluminum particles, bioavailable freeform aluminum to all life, period. That element is named in numerous climate engineering patents as part of a geoengineering dispersion element. This elephant in the sky.
So of course, we know all these people are just being downright bat crap crazy. We know. Like, what are they even talking about, right? But let me ask you this. This same video is posted on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. No problem whatsoever. Why now? By the way, TikTok, I'll sue you. There is something much bigger afoot right now, and it's apparent that the lid is being removed off everything under a certain circumstance. Would he have been able to post that video a few years ago? You know, the sky has been so clear and blue, the whole government shut down. Look at this beautiful night a few nights ago. Of course, the shutdown is completely 1000% unrelated to the sky. Why is there an X in the sky? At nighttime. Why now? think. Bookmark, save the video, something is coming.
Vamos, por favor, ya no todo bien, boludo. No, lo va a volver a levantar. Va con motor, va con motor. Vamos, la puta madre, dale, cuidado. Ah, largó combustible. Eso es largar combustible para poder aterrizar. ¿Largó combustible? Sí, eso es larga el combustible para aterrizar. ¿Y a dónde aterriza? Tira todo el combustible. No, no te puedo creer, pa. Está poniendo un producto en el lago. ¿Qué es esto? Nunca en mi vida había... ¿Pero ahí sube otra vez? No, sube. Largó producto del lago. No, están poniendo algún producto del lago. Ay, no, esperame. Paré, no dejes de filmar. Creo que se le apaga ahí. Ah, boludo, me hizo bosta. Largó combustible. Me hizo bosta de adrenalina que sentí. Largó combustible. Si largó combustible es porque tiene que aterrizar. Da la vuelta ahí y se viene para acá.
The sun used to be yellow. I'm a photographer. Right. I've been shooting photographs since I was 10 years old. I've been photographing the sun since I was 10 years old. The sun used to be yellow. I have to use special filters, neutral density filters now, to get good crisp images of the sun because it's white. It's hot white. Mm-hmm. And this is an indication that dust is falling down, interstellar dust is falling onto the surface of the sun, heating it up. And another thing that people have noticed is the UV. The ultraviolet is much hotter now than it used to be.
Oh, sure, and more melanoma cases.
Exactly. And you stand out in 80-degree weather and you feel like it's 100 degrees out. And that's the UV coming. And so I asked myself, well, where would the UV come? And the ultraviolet would come from this dust falling down onto the surface of the sun. It's called a T-Tauri star in astronomy. Mm-hmm. And the dust falls down on the surface, and if you add if you do a color scheme and you add the ultraviolet to yellow, it turns it white, which is exactly
what's happening
going on with the sun.
I made a video on this about a couple years ago talking about how the sun is no longer the same. It's no longer orange. But not just the color of the sun, but just how it feels. It feels very intense. Now we even have people who give scientific explanations on things talking about how the sun is no longer the same to them, even right down to how it feels. Well, what about that solar simulator they have patented? When was the last time we saw the same sun that we used to draw as kids? I remember being a kid and drawing a beautiful day or a beautiful morning, and I would always draw a yellow or orange sun. I would never say, well, the sun is white, it wouldn't come out on paper, so let me just go ahead and use orange or yellow. No, I always drew a yellow sun because that's what I always knew the sun to look like.
I'm out walking and y'all see this? Look. You see that? You think it's a coincidence that he's going in line with that other line? They're just traveling, they just going from state to state, huh? Look at that. Look at those crosses. Look at those lattices that are being created. Look at that. These are all by chance, huh? It has nothing to do with the aurora. Nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. Look at that. And that's just trains, I said trains, those are just planes, just letting out gas, letting out air vapors because that's just what they do. It's just combustion or whatever. Total conspiracy, guys. Total conspiracy.
Aadhaar, India's digital biometric ID, dictates every aspect of people's lives. Without a digital biometric ID, Indians are ostracized from society. Citizens are required to have an Aadhaar number if they want to buy a home, get a job, or receive benefits. As one citizen put it, your very basis to live is checked at each and every step. Dozens of people living in rural areas have starved to death because they didn't have a digital biometric ID, which is linked to access state benefits. The Vietnamese government deleted the bank accounts of 86 million people who had not submitted their biometrics, and Biometric Update recently reported that the Trump administration implemented a full-scale biometric system to track every non-citizen who enters the United States. Now, let's not be naive. This system will also capture the faces of millions of Americans and will be used to track them as well. As Biometric Update rightfully says, this surveillance system paves the way for a nationwide network of facial recognition checkpoints. Now, digital ID is the foundation of the technological concentration camp. Without it, the technocrats, or what people refer to as the globalists, cannot achieve their coveted one world open air digital prison. Digital IDs will function as an interoperable network linking identities, payments, and records. A digital ID will encompass all of your data and will be linked directly to your biometrics, a programmable digital currency, a carbon footprint score that will be used to track what you're eating and how much you're traveling, your social media history, which will monitor whether you're guilty of wrongthink, and vaccination status, which will form a social credit system based on compliance. Biometric technology such as facial recognition will be used to verify your digital ID. More importantly, since digital IDs will be connected to a social credit system based on behavior, if you're not obeying everything the government says and your social credit score gets too low, then the authorities will lock your digital ID, which will render you incapable of purchasing anything. So imagine a scenario where to enter a grocery store, you have to scan your face. And if your biometrics don't match your digital ID, or your social credit score is too low, then you'll be denied entry. No food, no water. Or imagine a scenario where you want to visit family or friends in a different county or state. Well, in order to cross county and state lines, you'll be required to scan your face. And once again, if your biometrics don't match your digital ID or your social credit score is too low, then you'll be denied the ability to travel. So you'll be confined to your immediate surroundings, hence 15-minute cities. Folks, if the cabal gets what it wants, then a digital ID will be required to access all aspects of life. Everything from purchasing food, traveling, shopping, accessing the internet, social benefits, healthcare, and financial services. And remember, since the digital ID will be connected to a social credit system, you will be denied basic necessities like food, water, and energy if your social credit score gets too low. The technological panopticon is unfolding before our very eyes. And if we do not refuse to accept these fascist impositions sold as convenience, then any vestige of freedom will vanish. The Orwellian surveillance state is here. So I ask you, refuse to accept invasive biometric technology. When you're at the airport and the TSA tells you to stand here to capture your face, simply refuse. These measures are not mandatory. They are voluntary. The government wants to capture our biometric data in preparation for the rollout of a digital ID slave system. So until next time, refuse to accept a digital ID. Our freedom depends on it.
That great video came from Perception Reset, and it's just another reminder why we need to push back on this digital ID. We can see what's doing over in India, the United Kingdom, Mexico, all these other countries. The United States will be next, but even if your country is currently under the digital ID, always push back. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.